Buzz with Dr. Ron McNinch. Dr. McNinch, we look, the Democrats, Majority Leader, Senator Rory Spicio, there was talk these past few years, a couple years, that he's aspiring, definitely is going to be a contender to, in the next couple of years, for Adelup. Placing at number 15, there was a time there last night or early this morning where he was out of the 15. He was number 16 and jumped back in, got it at 14, and then settled at 15. Where do you see his role in the 32nd Guam legislature? Would he be able to maintain the majority leadership, you think?
Sure. I think that, it's interesting. There's the inside and outside effect. The leadership within the legislature is simply determined by the agreement of the senators. And he's been actually a very good leader in the legislature. It's hard to be a leader anywhere. And in particular, he's taken a lot of the hard choices in the legislature. You asked me right before the break about the difference between B.J. Cruz and Frank Uggan as a speaker. And let me get back to that really quickly. B.J. Cruz is an absolute leader. And I mean that in the most positive terms possible. No nonsense. He knows how to get things done, and whether people like him or not like him, if they're looking at getting a leader to become speaker and not simply a politician, he's the person. And I mean that in the most positive terms, because basically I think it's because he was a judge, and judges are like that. They're very deliberate. They're very no nonsense. Uggan, on the other hand, has been kind of grown out of the legislature, and that's where he's learned his leadership skills. And so he's much more political in terms of his leadership style, and he's not deliberate and not direct. And so I think that that's certainly a matter of consideration. I think that in general, in terms of broad support, it doesn't matter about the votes. I think that Cruz, B.J. Cruz, probably has a wider depth of base of support than almost any other senator in the legislature, because he's widely known, and like him or not like him, he's respected.
What do you foresee, again, newcomers, definitely, Republican side, and actually, there used to be 6 women, now there are going to be 3. So half of them were knocked out in this race. It has nothing to do with the sex. They just got knocked out, and like you said, they knocked themselves out in this race. What do you foresee with these newcomers coming in here, and most especially the ones that are Michael St. Nicholas? He's definitely going to go in as a majority. He's going to chair a committee. What do you think he's going to be chairing?
Sure.
Based on his campaign issues.
I've known Mike St. Nicholas for probably 12 years. Wonderful young man. He was my student at the university. One day I went to an art show and I picked up a pen and ink picture of Adelup, and the next day in class I gave it to him. I said, "Here, Mike, this is going to be your office one day." And that was 12 years ago. And that's how much he's been on the radar in terms of being a wonderful upcoming young leader. And he's very much a wonderful young man, a very good leader. And also he has a lot of good crossover support politically and among the Republicans and among the Democrats. I think he could be assigned to pretty much any committee and do well. I don't think it matters. Subject matter doesn't. He's a generalist, and so I'm sure he would do well.
Mike Lemtianco, we have Brent McCready, and we have a newcomer. Who's the other newcomer here?
Brent.
Brent McCready. Tommy Morrison. Yeah, sure. Actually, highest of the newcomers that came in.
Well, one of my great fears that I always have with new senators is it's just like with teenagers, you worry that they're going to hang out with the wrong people. And with the new senators, I worry that they're going to hang out with the wrong people and become jaded or become the political equivalent of juvenile delinquents kind of thing. And I worry about that. And so my first thing to tell all the new senators is don't become jaded. Don't lose your idealism. Your idealism and your courage put you into office, and find some goals you want to do and stick to them. And don't let the pointy-headed pencil pushers down at the legislature tell you that you're not a senator, because you're a senator and you're a leader and you can make a difference if you choose to. Don't let people talk you out of your convictions. That's my first point. And you've been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
You've been under these same pressures. And the other thing, I always have suggestions for new senators, is it doesn't matter which committee you lead or which committee you get assigned to. You can make a difference. And you just have to use political skills. Politics is about who gets what, when, and how. So you have to use political skills to get what you want, and you have to learn how to compromise. You have to learn how to politically communicate. You have to learn how to stick by your guns. And you have to learn, there's an old saying, whenever you fight, you got to ask yourself 3 questions. Am I right? Can I win? And is it worth it? And you can't fight and win every battle.
That's right.
You got to pick your battles.
And the older you get, the less battles you want to get into.
And maybe that's why people get unelected, is they stop the good fight.
Stop the good fight, yeah.
Because the good fight is the good fight. And so right now we have a group of young people there, and relatively young people there, who are not jaded. Don't get jaded. That's my suggestion.
Don't master the game in one term. Hey, we're going to take a break, come back. Let's talk about the municipal races and elections. Be right back.